Oh, good. All right. Well, guys, my name is Chris Menifee. I am Direct to Symmetry by way of Scott Mank, part of the Jacob Pogue Marshall Wayland hierarchy. If you're new, that's a lot of names, but you are all part of that same team. So, welcome. Glad to have everyone here. And this system really is a unique setup in that when we talk about hierarchies, it's kind of a family tree, if you will. We always give shout outs to the people that are responsible for us being here, because this system is really designed to follow winners. Following the steps of people who've gone before, kind of paved the path, if you will, and keep building and expanding on that. So excited to meet with you today. Sean is traveling. And so I will be running the show for today. But I've got some thoughts for us, and appreciate everybody popping on today. But want to start out by telling you a little bit about a theme that I had going here about 3 or 4 years ago in my agency. Good conversations. I've got in a habit of talking about professionalism on our calls. And in our system, what we find when you talk about something, people latch onto it, they take ownership of it, they run with it. And we saw our agency improve. We saw our numbers grow. We kept getting better and better. And then for some reason, I stopped talking about it. And when you stop talking about things, seems like it goes off the radar, and people kind of let things slide a little bit. So I am back to reintroduce, re-spotlight the topic of professionalism. I know our graphics said resets. That's just one piece of it. But as Sean and I were making plans, both moving very quickly throughout our weekend, quick Sunday afternoon call, that was the topic that made the headlines. But it's going to be a little bit more broad than that. But that is an integral piece of that. But I want to back up the train a little bit because we do have to have a conversation about professionalism, because this is a business where, yes, we can go out, we can make a lot of sales, we can help people, but are we salespeople or are we professionals? Because this is an industry where we have great impact, or the potential to make great impact on people's lives and people's finances. But that responsibility falls on our shoulders for the conversations that we're having, for the questions that we're asking, and for the needs that we are identifying, and more importantly, that we're helping our client to identify and help them process through. So today's call is going to be a little bit of an interactive. So finger on the mute button, be ready to jump off and chime in. I'll be asking questions, be calling some folks out in a polite way, in a kind way, not calling you out in a negative way. If I don't get participation, you will be participated. And so we'll get some interaction going here today. But it's going to be fun, guys. I want you to learn from today. And I'm coming up on 11 years in this business, and I've always made the joke over the years, and I don't think I've made it to this group, so this will be fresh material for you, but everybody else will have heard it before and are tired of me saying it. But if I'd got paid for every mistake I would made in this business, I would be living on my own private island and flying in my own private jet to all the company events. Point being is you don't have to be perfect in this business to be successful. In fact, I'm reading a book right now, the latest one from John Maxwell, Getting a Return on Failure, because failure and success just happen to be in the same family. They live in the same family and they are closely associated. In fact, you can't have one without the other. And so we need failure to have success. We need the success to overcome failure. And so again, what we get from failure is lessons learned that help us to then turn around, take those lessons and turn them into success. So again, back to our topic of the day, professionalism, because in this business, identifying or dealing with clients that come through our lead system, a lot of times they come through on a particular lead type, or a maybe a particular subject that they've identified that they've raised their hand on, and that's great. That is perfect for us. That's why our lead system is transformational in this business. Why our leads put you in an advantage over the industry. I've been talking a lot lately in interviews with people from Aflac, from people from Bankers Life, Globe Life, Guys, these folks are still out knocking doors. And hats off to them. I mean, these folks are hustlers. They're getting out and they're making things happen. Like it's almost a little bit embarrassing for us sitting back on our, couch or, in our bedroom office, jumping on the phone and making calls and connecting with people while these folks are out banging on doors, making connections, getting clients. But man, every one of them, and I've talked to some people that are winning at a pretty high level in those systems. They are happy and ready to be paying for leads because in our business, everything costs. It costs you time or it costs you money, and so this allows us again to be more professional in being able to connect with more clients. But when we're connecting with those clients, back on topic, again, they're coming to us for a specific product. But that is just, I've always told folks, that's just opening the door to that client relationship. Say that's your toe in the door that allows you to press that door open a little bit and start digging in and uncovering what that need is, but what their real needs are. Because I guarantee you, I always tell folks, we deal with people in middle America who, quite frankly, all of them have the products that we carry. They already have stuff in place. So it's not that we really run into a lot of people, and we will from time to time, who don't have anything. What's more likely to happen is we will run into people who don't have enough. And that's what we do in our business. We help fill gaps. And our job is to help identify those gaps, help the client recognize those gaps, and then help fill those gaps through the products and services that we offer. But again, that comes down to being a professional. Are we just going to take that mortgage protection lead, run it through mortgage protection, and walk away and never touch that again? I hope not. And I hope after today, you understand that there's a better process in place. And there's some pieces that I think we're all missing a little bit. Again, acting as professionals and helping people perform at a higher level that I want to identify and help you integrate that into your process. So as we dive into it, I've talked about questions, guys. I'm going to do a screen share with you here. And this document is critical to your business. If you are not using it, let me move some things around here. All right, let me move that out of the way. Sorry, this is something quirky with my Zoom system here. All right, can everybody see that? Thumbs up if you can see that.
I
Ashley,
just
shake
got
your
a
head
black
here.
screen.
Black screen. All right,
Yep.
stop. Let's try to redo this again. It does have a black background. Are you on a Are you on a phone, Ash? Are you joining
Nope.
us from? Oh,
Nope.
you're
I'm
on
on my
a.
laptop.
Okay. All right. Let me do all
There we
this.
go. I've got it now.
Got it.
Yep. Big black box in the top, though. There you go. Oh, wait. Sorry. I'm jumping the gun.
All right. Let me try to move. I'll get as much as I can hidden, but there's one piece that I cannot get hidden here. So we'll
Yeah, we
get
can
this out
see
of the way.
that. You're
All right.
good.
So this form, this is in HQ. Oops. We're going to blow it up, but blow it up a little bit too much. FIF form, client qualification form. Actually, there is a document called client qualification form, and I would point you to using this over the other one because this is what we're looking for right here. And guys, this is what I started out with in the business when we were still meeting in homes across the kitchen table. It was not as organized as this. To be honest with you, it was just a single sheet that was actually a copy of a copy of a copy that somebody gave me when I started, but basically went through this information and allowed us to identify what we were dealing with this client. But there's some things on here that again we are missing. All of us are missing when we're dealing with the clients, and this is where this conversation happens. When let's take mortgage protection because that's our most common lead. When we get that mortgage protection lead in, guys, if you're getting on that appointment with John Doe and saying, "Hey, you've got a $350,000 mortgage. Let me show you the quotes for $350,000," and you're doing that right off the jump, you're probably, I'm going to take a wild guess, and you're struggling in your business. You're not having success, and that's where it starts. Um, this is where, again, leads or opportunities, leads are the open door to a larger conversation, but it's up to us as professionals to have that conversation. Um, let me expand this back out a second here. Let me see what I've got on screen. Who's going to volunteer here to kind of role play with me for just a second? I'm not going to be mean on you or anything. I'm going to put you in a corner.
I'll volunteer.
All right, Addie got it. Addie got
Mhm.
it. By the way, Addie, and I purposely did this on purpose. You just earned a $25 Amazon gift card for jumping in volunteer. I didn't tell anybody there's going to be potential awards and prizes for interacting, but now that you know that, we'll see how many people jump on the mute button next time around. So, all right, good job, Addie.
Mhm.
Let's so Addie, you're the mortgage protection lead. And we're not going to do an exhaustive role play here, but I just want to touch on a couple of things that we want people to be able to again pick up through this conversation. Addie, can you see enough of this document? I know some of these numbers are kind of small. Do I need to blow it up a little bit? Better or worse? No, you're muted, Addie.
Yes, better.
Okay, all right. So Addie, you came in on a mortgage protection lead. So as we sit down. And again, I'm going to fast forward through kind of warm up connection questions, all that. As we dive into this, I'm going to start out asking a question, and I want to first set the tone. And this is, guys, this is in your script. This is in the interaction scripts that the Symmetry has on the sales tools on HQ. I'm going to ask Addie, what was it that you saw either in the online ad or the form that you got in the mail that really stood out to you and kind of got you thinking about mortgage protection?
Well, I know I have a pretty large balance on my mortgage, and I'm planning to retire in a few years. So that's what's got me thinking about mortgage protection. And I'm getting older.
Okay. Yeah, that makes total sense, Addie. Addie, I don't know if you're aware of this, but legally, I can't overinsure you, but ethically, I don't want to underinsure you. Meaning, we kind of got to find a sweet spot here. We got to give you enough coverage to accomplish your goals, but I can't give you too much coverage because if I do that, that's actually I could get in trouble for that. So I'm just going to walk you through a quick question here, Addie, just so we can kind of understand what your situation is. A lot of people are surprised they find out they don't need as much as they thought they did. And that's a good thing because if I can help save you some money, that'll be a benefit to you. Is that fair, Addie?
Yes,
And Addie
that's
can
fair.
just you could do a thumbs up if you're in the middle of a mute right now, or I know you're still dealing with the cough, so I
Yeah.
won't hold you to that. So, guys, you're going to see a lot in Symmetry Land about how we fill these out. Some people get granular and detailed in this. I personally don't, and I'm not saying there's a right way or a wrong way. I just never have, only because, again, when I came up in this business, we were working mortgage protection leads. We wanted high level information, but there are some things that we're going to take away from this in this interaction here. So I'm going to kind of jump in and role play and talk about some things. But Addie, on your form, it says you've got a mortgage, and we talked about a little bit about it, $350,000, and you told me that was a 30-year mortgage that you just took out. I wrote down that you're paying about $2,000 a month. Does that sound right? Did I get all that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Addie, just out of curiosity, I mean, it's a 30-year mortgage. I know sometimes folks are interested in getting those paid down quicker. Are you making any overpayments on that mortgage, or are you pretty much paying what you owe?
Yeah, we're paying about 250 a month more.
Okay. All right. So trying to knock that. So it sounds like retiring that mortgage early would be a priority for you. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, it would
Okay.
be.
Okay. Fair enough. Um, Addie, as far as the cost to run your household, and I don't need you to kind of give me all the, the coffee, drinks, and nickel and dime stuff, but just kind of high level, how much a month does it take you to run your household?
About $3,500. That's other than the mortgage.
Got it. Okay. So we add the mortgage in, it's about 5,500 and
Right,
miscellaneous costs, but you say 5,500 would be a good estimate.
right.
Okay. And Addie, God forbid, you're no longer on this earth. How much income stops coming into the household?
For me, be about 85,000 a year.
Okay. So what, roughly 7 grand a month ish?
Yeah,
Okay.
ish.
Okay. And for your partner, about how much income would be lost if they were no longer here?
Um, about 125.
Okay. So around 10 grand a month.
Yeah,
Okay. Got it. Addie, do you have any existing coverage in place right now?
we do.
Okay. Can you give me an idea about how much coverage do you have currently?
So we both have 150,000 on each.
Okay. 150,000. Is that term or whole life, or do you remember?
No, it's whole life.
Whole life? Oh, okay, good. Good. So the kind that
Mhm.
never goes away as long as you pay the premium.
Correct.
Okay. And you've had that for a while?
Yeah, for 16 years, as long as we've been married.
Oh, nice. Okay. Addie, I'm going to give you some advice. Never get rid of that because you won't be able to find anything cheaper at this point. So if
Okay.
anybody tells you they can do better and try to talk you out of it, don't do it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Any other coverages in place?
We do have accidental. Both of us have 250 each.
Okay. Okay. And um, aside from that, any other coverages?
No, that's it.
Okay. And if anything were to happen, aside from the insurances that you have in place, is there anything else that the family could fall back on? I don't know, maybe like a 401k, IRA, savings, anything else?
Yeah, we have savings and I have an IRA.
Okay. And you don't have to get did great detail, but just ballpark, how much would be available for the family to tap into?
In the IRA, it's 125,
Okay.
and the
And
savings
then,
is about 50,000.
okay, got it. That money, is that strictly for retirement, or do you have it designated for anything else currently?
It's gonna be for retirement and traveling.
Okay. And aside from that, any inheritances from rich uncles coming or investment properties, anything like that?
No,
Okay. You wish, but you no, right?
I wish.
Right. All right. Thank you, Addie.
You're welcome.
I'll let you off the hook right now. Now, so a couple things. I went through this form. Obviously, there are different numbers here than what Addie gave me, and that's because what this was not about Addie reading off what was on the form. This is about the flow of this form. So a couple things. Actually, let me do this. Open it up. What did you notice about the process? The questions I asked. What information was gleaned? How did I pull it out? What jumped out at everybody who's listening? What did you take away? No wrong answers.
You taking objections off the table?
Yeah. And specifically, what objections do you think I was targeting there, Jerry?
I already have insurance. I have this already in place.
Perfect. Yep. Josh.
It was low and slow and felt very natural.
Conversational. Yes. So I don't want to make this weird. Like we don't need to turn it into awkward. Um, so questions. I kept it as conversational as I possibly could. Marisa.
I noticed that you um, referenced going like if one person, what income would stop and got them thinking about that. And then again, flipping it. So that put in their mind right away that that much would go away right away.
Yep. How much income is going to be lost? Any other takeaways? All right. Let's see. Looks like Lauren.
Hi. Yep, I liked how you asked her how much more she paying over her mortgage. So you could go ahead and find out like what kind of wiggle room you have there.
Perfect. Yep. Exactly. And I thought I saw another hand.
Yeah,
That's
that
it.
was
Oh,
mine.
Maria.
It's
Yes,
Maria.
go ahead.
So I'm gonna echo Lauren's comment. I like how you did that, but um, to be quite honest with you, I'm extremely concerned about her um, opportunity here, but you didn't come across as concerned. We got to figure out a way to ensure that Abby's gonna be able to manage for the rest of her life. We didn't talk about her age. We didn't talk about the folks behind her. We didn't talk about estate. We didn't talk about those things, but I know you're thinking about those, and I just um how you not have a frowny face is awesome and fantastic. Is all I got to say. Thank you.
I appreciate that. And so to your point, Maria, you're absolutely right. So the focus of our exercise there was kind of the FIF form, but from there, so I love what Maria is referencing. This should open up a lot more conversations. As I went through the process of the FIF, but again, FIF is setting up the detailed conversations that we're going to have about the particular situation. So let's run through an exercise. I've got John Doe here, and let me see if I can blow this up just a hair without distorting everything. And I'm going to kind of scroll. Everybody kind of take a mental snapshot. And how many things can you pick out about this particular client that you would be having conversations with them about moving forward? So we're financial professionals here. What are we looking for as financial professionals as we fill this form out? Okay. Unmute at will. Fire away. What are we pulling out of this?
Whether or not they can afford it based upon their monthly expenses and budget.
What do you see in there?
I see a lot of monthly expenses. We see a lot of, total income versus monthly expenses. So that is something that we have to weigh on.
Yep. Very good. What else?
There's an annuity that's not being contributed to.
Okay. So we got a retirement account down here, currently not being contributed. Good.
Overpayments on the mortgage.
Overpayments. So that's a sneaky one that snuck in there. Good job, Jerry. I snuck that one in there. Accelerated. So they're trying to accelerate their mortgage.
I'd say you have a good setup to talk to them about debt-free life because they credit card debt, with the overpayment, with the car payment, all of that. They have debt they could absolutely get out of.
100%. Good job. All right, so let's walk through this one. And again, what we're working on, guys, is pattern recognition. So absolutely right. Overpayments. That's why we always ask, how much are you paying on your mortgage? Are you interested in paying that, or are you making more payments to try to pay it off earlier? And again, this is, keep in mind with this, we're just collecting information. So if they say, yes, I'm making overpayment, great, I've got a program for you, debt-free life, I'm going to tell you about it. Nope, we're going to stay on track. FIF, we're going to go through this form, we're going to go through our process, and this is our process, helping the client with the need they brought to us, but uncovering more needs as we go through. Okay, so I want every one of you, this FIF form, financial information form, print it out, love it, learn it, live it, write it out on notebook paper. If you're like me, old school, and you don't even want to print it out, then but make sure you're following this process. So we identified their mortgage. They're having overpayments. This particular client volunteered in the conversation that they, I was asking about how much total expenses are. Around 7,000, but as they were talking, they were thinking out loud. Yeah, let's see, I paid about 645 for the car, credit cards. So, guys, I'm not necessarily digging in and asking it, but if they're going to volunteer the information, I'm writing it down as fast as I can. Okay, I'm collecting anything and everything that they give me. I don't need to know this, but if they give it to me, I'm going to write it down. But what I do know is they got a $7,000 monthly bill that's just keeping their house running. When I asked about income, when they lost income, both individuals are earning $5,000 a month. So as a household, they got about 10 grand coming in, so they can cover their bills. But what's the big problem?
One of them dies, they don't have enough.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you, Eli. We take away one of these, we got big problems. Now, again, I'm not going to pounce on this, but this is setting up that conversation that Maria was talking about. Yeah, so this is red light moment. All right, we got a problem here. But we're going to help them with that. We're going to talk about that. But I'm not going to jump on it just yet because I got to eliminate objections. And I love, and I forgot a couple of you brought it up, but we got to eliminate objections. One of those objections is your existing insurance. How much insurance do you have? 350,000? Now, I didn't write it in here, but I'm going to ask for this purpose. When you took that coverage out, what was that for? Guys, this is called naming the puppy. We got to name this puppy and we got to give it a job. I got 350,000. Great. What type of insurance is that? Term? Perfect. What was that for when you took that out? That is for income replacement. Got it. So that's what, about 5-6 years worth of income. So after that is spent, they've got to come up with some other options, right? So I'm going to ask that because I want the client thinking about this. Yes, it's income replacement, but this has a time limit on it based on their income level. In fact, I'll ask this. So this is about 5-6 years, assuming no unexpected expenses come up, like the AC goes out on the house and they got to spend 10 grand on the AC, or kids, need braces or something like that. I'm going to plant a little seed in there that, hey, this is not an infinite pool of money. Because one of the objections that you'll run into is people look at $350,000, and in their mind, because they make $60,000 a year, $350,000 sounds like a lot of money. And it probably is, but if you put it in terms of what does it actually do for them, this has a very short shelf life, even if they get that money tax-free. As I come down here, when we ask about retirement, you notice when I was having the conversation with Addie, hey, just, is there anything else the family could fall back on? We're going to keep this conversational. If I go straight to, hey, do you have retirement accounts? What do you have? What do you have saved up? Like, you guys doing pretty well? No, I'm going to just, hey, is there anything else the family could maybe in an emergency pull from, fall back on? I'm going to casually try to pull that money out, meaning I'm going to get them to divulge that. Yeah, I've got some retirement accounts. Oh, okay. Is that at your current job? Well, I've got an old one. for my previous work. Oh, okay. So you're saying that's your old 401k? Is it still at the old company? Okay. Do you remember how much they had there? Do they give you any statements on that? 75 grand. Okay. And I'm assuming you're no longer there, right? You can't contribute to that. And the reason I'm asking this is just to reaffirm and remind them it's an old account that they can't do anything with, that they can't add money to, and it's sitting at their old company. But I'm not going to attack it. I'm just going to plant those seeds because we're going to double back on that later. Your current company has a 401k. Great. Are you contributing? Yes. Do they do a match? Yeah, I'm doing the match. Are you doing anything over the match? Yeah, I'm putting an extra $400 in over the match. Great. What did that just tell me? Anybody?
You have $400 that you can add to that overpayment to use for something else.
Ding, 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 ding. Good job, Lauren. Yes, I now have an extra $400 that I can allocate somewhere, whether that would be mortgage protection coverage, whether that be a debt-free life, whether that be, you name it. We now have an extra 400. Maybe it's an IUL where we can show them how we can make an IUL outperform their 401k. Keep putting money in, keep using your match money, but let me show you how that we will create a separate account that won't get stuck in your company if you decide to leave. What about this cash? What are our thoughts on that? Anybody have any ideas?
The same thing about performance. The interest is probably very limited.
I didn't quite pick that up, Marisa.
I was saying it's probably, you could ask them about the interest on it and how well it can perform if it's for a specific reason.
Yeah, we could. There is something I threw in here just to kind of trick everybody a little bit. What's that money for? It's an emergency. Depending on their financial situation, we probably won't touch this. I'll probably tell them, hey, you need to keep that back in reserve to make sure you keep your bills paid. Because again, if I'm going to be putting something in place up here to take care of mortgage protection, I want to make sure that we have plenty of financial runway that they're not going to be canceling that policy on me. So, guys, rule 1, write this down. Rule 1, every appointment, every client conversation that you get past, obviously the initial appointment setup. Yeah, so we set our appointment, we ask a few basic questions, but when we get into the appointment, every appointment gets one of these filled out, top to bottom. This runs your business. Okay? Rule number 2. Actually, let me pull my controls up here. Rule number 2, because I'm going to look at my notes. Rule number 2, bam fam. For a Starbucks card, who can tell me what a bam fam is?
Book a meeting, something a meeting.
So
Can't
close,
remember
so
those.
close.
I can't cheat now that Marisa gave that. That's not fair. Book a meeting from a meeting.
There you go. So Marisa, you were close enough. We'll give it to you. Book a meeting from a meeting. Every client interaction gets a bam fam. Book a meeting from a meeting. Everybody. All right. So why everybody? You say, well, okay, but wait a minute. Like if I sold somebody, why would I book a meeting from a meeting? We'll go back to our financial information form. We identified a debt-free life opportunity, or maybe a retirement rollover, or maybe both. So I'm going to take the first one up on my list, which is always going to be debt-free life, and I'm going to book a meeting from a meeting. That's going to be my first attempt. Hey, when we were filling out your form, I noticed that you're making extra payments on your mortgage. You indicated that paying off your mortgage early would be important to you. Maria, if I could show you how to pay off all your debts, including that mortgage, in 9 years or less without spending any extra money than you're currently spending, is that something that you'd like to learn more about?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Well, I'll tell you what, I've got a good friend of mine in the business. His name's Sean. Sean is an expert at this stuff. And I've sent so many clients his way, and he is so good at explaining the program. He's not going to try to sell anything. He's just going to take about 15 minutes, explain how the program works. If you're interested, he may work up some options for you. If not, at least you'll know what it is. Would that be fair?
That's fair. That's absolutely fair. Zoom call is best because I'm traveling, but yeah, I can do it.
Perfect. Sean loves Zooms. So, and I'm going to pull up the FIF form, and I'm going to book a meeting with Sean right then and there. But let's say I sold it. I sold a mortgage protection, and I went through the questions, and yeah, no, we're good. Yeah, we're comfortable paying our debt. I'm not interested in rollovers. What would I bam fam off of that meeting? I sold them a policy. I asked them to follow up questions to do a reset. They didn't take advantage of that. What am I doing? Yes, Marisa.
Policy review.
Policy review. Thank you. Now, I'm going to encourage you for a brand new client. Yeah, and the standard is a year. And look, there's nothing wrong with that. But especially where identified on their FIF form, I'm going to ask them if it's okay that I reach back out them in 3 to 6 months. Just to check in, make sure everything's going okay with that policy. You have any questions? Maybe you need to make some adjustments after we get it in place. Sometimes people that first year need to do some tweaking to it. Is it okay if we set you up for a callback in 3 months? Okay. You also in that bam bam, it's encouraging, especially if you get somebody that either we run out of time, and look, this happens. We get somebody's like, look, my kid's screaming, I got to get him to bed. Like, we signed the policy, are we good? Yeah. Do you mind if I call you in a week just to make sure you got the documents in the email and that your policy was delivered okay to you? I always want that follow-up to get a chance to get them back on the phone. Because then if I don't get a chance, especially to go into my reset language, I need another touch point just to cover that. But I do want to make sure that they got their email with their policy, because you'll be surprised the number of policies that get canceled with some of the carriers because the client didn't see the email because it probably went to spam. And all of a sudden, 3 months later, like, wait a minute, they're taking out $90 a month and I don't have a policy. These guys scam me. Call their credit card, call their bank, cancel this, don't pay it. And now the policy is charged back to you because they didn't realize that they actually had the policy. They just didn't see it. But again, are we acting as professionals? Or are we acting as salespeople that are on down the road to the next opportunity? Because we want to build that client relationship. Guys, this is a piece, in a lot of you have heard from Scott Mank, my upline. Scott came up through Mutual of Omaha, 30 plus years with them. It's kind of the old school way of doing business, but there's a lot that we can learn from those guys because they didn't have leads. Like, every policy you sold became a gold mine for your business. That was somebody that you treated with white glove service, and you went back to, and you made sure that they were happy, not only with the policy, but you were always connected with them, because as soon as another opportunity came up, they wanted you to think about them, or they wanted them to think about you. Sorry, said that backwards. So again, as a professional, one of the things that we get tricked into in our system is we have this instant access to leads, and that's great. I can add a batch of leads. I can get somebody on the phone. I get new business on the books anytime. And that's great. But what's the purpose of getting that new business on the books? Make money for today, yes, but build a client for tomorrow. Because if you can think in this terms of building your book of business to where you have 100 to 150 to 200 clients that you're now talking to regularly throughout the year, you will be shocked how much business you will write and how little you will spend on leads. In fact, you probably at some point very, very quickly not be buying leads. like within a year or two, because you'll be working your existing clientele. And think about it. The reason why the insurance business is so lucrative is because people are born every day. People are die every day. People change their jobs. People get married. People get divorced. People have kids. Life changes. Needs change. If we are professionals connected with our clients, we have an endless possibility of opportunity with our business. So what I want to share with you today is yes about resets, but I wanted to expand the conversation out because as we kind of close out the day, I will circle back on resets, because resets allow you that opportunity to establish this person not as a customer but as a client, because we see it over and over again in the data. If people take out a mortgage protection policy, our company has a good stick rate on that. And yeah, I don't know the exact numbers from corporate, but somewhere in the 70 to 75 percentile. But when we get that second piece of business, and if it is an advanced market piece of business, whether it be not mortgage protection, excuse me, debt-free life, or a retirement rollover plan, big decisions, big products that have big impact, the client retention rate is somewhere in the 97th percentile. Like, you will not lose clients at that point. You will not have chargebacks. And moving forward, you will have somebody that will do business with you over and over and over again. Because here's the thing that I think we don't do a good job talking about in resets. When we set somebody up for a debt-free life plan, this is actually a lifetime plan. Yes, it's designed to get them out of debt in the next 9 years. But in that process, one policy is not going to get them out of debt. Usually, in most cases, and some of you may be surprised to hear that, but one plan is not going to get them out of debt. Usually, we have to add a second plan somewhere around between year 3 and 5, because we've maxed out the first plan. So you're planting seeds for future business by getting them into the debt-free life program, just on that program alone. But as they get out of debt, now this plan changes its purpose and what it does for them. Now it becomes what we call an infinite banking plan. Whereas they continue to contribute that plan, it now starts scaling and growing, where you have a client that is more than happy to take your call, and they will be sending you people from their circle of influence throughout the entire process. So when we say think in terms of these leads become clients, because clients become not only long-term business for them and their family, you're going to be their guy or gal that they say in a circle of friends sitting at lunch or dinner, hey, you know what? You need to talk to Linda. Let me get you Linda's number. Because they're talking about, I got this mortgage. We're trying to pay it off early. I've got a plan that we're paying ours off in 9 years. And this gal Linda hooked us up with. I'm going to give you her number. You need to reach out and talk to her. Right? So as we're handling these conversation guys, again, 2 rules: FIF on every sit that you have, and a BAM FAM on every sit that you have. And I don't care if it's a no sale, book a meeting from a meeting. You do all the things that you can do. Like, no, I just can't. No, I need to think about it. Hey, I get it. Sometimes people just need a little bit of time to process. Is it okay? I mean, it's Monday at 5:00. Is 5:00 normally a good time to connect with you? Do you mind if I give you a call this Friday at 5:00? If I give you 5 days to kind of process this, would that be enough time for you to think and kind of maybe come up with some more questions? Guys, book a meeting from a meeting. Now, in that process, I'm going to chase a rabbit trail here just for a second. I'm going to go ahead and book that meeting. While I'm talking to them, they've said, I need to think about it. Great. Can I call you at Friday at 5? Yeah, perfect. Okay. Just so I talk to a lot of people every week, and I apologize, Maria. I forget who I talked to, what we talked about. You said you wanted to think about it. I totally respect that. Is it typically when people tell me that it's either the price, the product, or the person? The price is too much. We're at $85, and just so again, so I can make notes. Is that $85? Do you have $85 in your account every month that would be comfortable, or is that something that maybe we're kind of stretching the budget a little bit, and you need to kind of look at the budget and think about that? So, yes, it's the budget. Perfect. Let me make note of that. You know what, Maria? Actually, okay, I'm going to write $85 is stretching a little bit, but we may be trying to do a little bit too much right here. I apologize. I didn't tell you about this plan that we have for 55 that is still going to maybe kind of help fill some of those gaps. Let's take a look at that real quick before we get off the call. I've identified an objection that gives me a pivot. They say, no, it's the price. I can totally afford it. So the product, is this kind of what you had in mind, or maybe you have some questions or concerns about, is this actually going to do what you need it to do? So guys, I'm just going to go down through and notate what the actual objection is. And I'm still going to keep my BAM FAM on the books, but I'm going to give one more attempt while I'm there with the client just to try to pick out what that objection is and be able to make them feel good about that. At the end of the day, I've already got my meeting booked for the end of the week to circle back in with them. Is that helpful? Anybody, any questions around that? Good?
I thought it
All
was
right. What's
really helpful.
Sorry, go ahead.
Very much. I really appreciate that. I didn't know if I needed to respond. I was taking notes, sir.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you're taking notes. All right. What's rule 1?
FIF.
FIF, Addie. What's rule 2?
Bam,
Bam,
bam.
Bam, bam.
Bam, bam. I love it. It's a bunch of voices jumping in on that. That makes my heart sing. All right. Very good. So rule 1, FIF. Rule 2, BAM FAM. FIF uncovers the opportunities that will allow you to turn that client into, or that lead into a client. It's also going to help you look like a financial professional. And ultimately, again, this is what we are about in this business. We're here to become financial professionals. We're here to help our clients live a better life and put them in a better shape. All right. Tim, I'm going to let you go. We're about 10 minutes early, but give you time to jump on the phones and go turn some leads into clients. Reach out if you need anything. Thank you for your time today.
Thanks so much. It was great.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.